Don't get me wrong, this is not an anti-men video. What's that? This is Charlotte, your gossip girl, in today's last few episodes of this series called Exposing My Exes, which is part of the Charlosophy series, or what I call the brainisms part of this channel. These episodes don't really justify having a brain. After all, I'm exposing episodes in my life that show that I don't have a brain. Today, you are not an F-bombshell. Today, you are my chismosas. Kung si Madam may mga inuts, ako may mga chismoots. I am back with a lot of chisms, so I hope you are ready. I think I should be saying that to myself, Carlota. I hope you are ready to be exposing your stupidity once again on the internet. This episode is probably the most challenging of them all. Not because I don't want to be open and honest to you. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with strangers judging me on the internet. I have no problem with tainting my name whatsoever. But the problem lies in revealing stuff that might affect my future job opportunities, you know? You know how it's like you're not supposed to rant on your Facebook feed because your colleagues are there and your bosses are there, but you do it anyway? So it's kind of something like that I'm trying not to do. For the sake of my pangkabuhayan showcase, so I will try to be the most honest that I could be without endangering my livelihood. You ready? I'm not. So alika na, magsakita na tayo. So this ex of mine is the one who we will brand as the ex who was too good to be true / the ex who was a peacock. He was flashy, he was tall, artistahin, handsome, maporma. He drove sports cars. He talked like a player, he walked like a player, he acted like a player. His collar was up like this. I hated this trend. I mean, wow, you look so cool as a vampire. I mean, like, wow, nasobrahan ba yung starch mo sa pagplancha kaya ganyang katigas ang kwelyo mo? He and the peacock Elvis Presley collar were so not my type. Remember, I liked nerdy boys, the silent, intelligent types who would allow me to shine, who are like wallflowers, socially awkward, and he was so opposite of that. So totally not my type, so there was no attraction to begin with. Absolutely nothing. I just treated him like the usual bar guest. You know, being an OFW, a singer abroad back then, guests would always invite us after our performance. And being the patay gutom palamunin that we were, we would always go out with these guests and eat out as a group. So I just treated him like the usual guest, like a meal ticket. Then he started paying me special attention and started sweet-talking me. And I was like, roll eyes inside my head. You can't fool me, boy. I eat players like you for breakfast. I have an internal vaccine against the player virus. You can't play a player. But as much as a lot of aspects of him turned me off, certain aspects of him started to grow on me as we kept hanging out on these group hangouts. Remember, he is universally attractive. He was smart, and I like that. He was 9 years older than me, and I like that. He was so generous, and who wouldn't like that? He treated me like a princess, or like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. I mean, princess or call girl, same. I was such a queen. Until naipatay! Nahulog si Carlota. So what did Carlota do? I broke it off with my then boyfriend because I wanted to explore this new relationship with him as I was falling for him. Ironically, this was the only clean break among all my relationships. I broke it off with my then boyfriend before anything physical started happening with this new one. Although, of course, there was already emotional cheating as I started to fall for this. So we officially became Brangelina! Or like Bennifer, part 1 and part 2. I eventually had to go home, back to the Philippines, but we would see each other. We would fly in between countries every 2 or 3 weeks to see each other. So we just fell in love. He flew in my family, he flew in my friends, and gave us all shopping trips. It was, if you imagined what it would be like if real life was a movie. He was loving and generous and dreamy. I was was a princess. He was like literally a Prince Charming riding his horse because he played polo. Dinaig ko pa mga scriptwriters ng K-drama. Dinaig ko pa yung kilig ng K-drama. So it became a serious relationship, complete with plans of marrying after 2 years. And then, I woke up from my dream and the nightmare began. After a year and a half, I discovered he was not single after all. And he had children. After 1 year and a half. Ano sila, invisible? After 1 year and a half of his Pinoy driver telling me he was single. After 1 year and a half of his friends telling me he was single. After a year and a half of the salon ladies where I had my manicure and pedicure telling me that he brought nobody else there. I was scammed, Bombshells. Bombshells, I know I have made some pretty questionable decisions in the past. But you could probably relatively say that I am not an idiot. Where were the signs and symptoms of wife when I would be in his house? And our pictures were in his house. You mean to tell me after I leave his house, he would take it down? What is this? Are we in the world of the married, K-drama, or penthouse? Ano to, Truman Show? And everybody else around me were actors? I got totally, irrevocably, undeniably scammed, Bombshells. And aside from this very, very important missing information in his biodata about his civil status, I also find out later on that he was dating other Filipina singers, plural, singers, while with me. And dating one that was a very close friend of mine, like a sister. Behold my karma, F Bombshells, for treating all my other exes like trash. This is what I get. This is what I deserved. Then, I wanted more punishment. I allowed myself to be scammed another 6 months, bringing the entire relationship to a total of 2 years. Because I kept believing in his lies and denials. And also because I wasn't entirely an angel in that time either. And also because I deserved the punishment. So how did it finally end? Thank God. He would not stop messaging me. Even if I broke it off 1,000,000 times, he would find a way to find me. I changed numbers a few times already and he still found me. So I ended it in the most scandalously public way possible. I posted in the newsfeed of all of the bars that he frequented in, the Facebook pages. I aired out our dirty laundry there. And that's how he stopped. Because he realized, oh, she's psycho. I self-destructed, Bombshells, just so he would leave me alone. I regret the self-destruction part, but when your world is upside down like that, you really can't think of a better solution. So you just take any solution, even if it's actually another problem. Yes! Dinaig ko pa mga kontrabida ng mga K-drama, Bombshells. Don't me. Despite those 2 years being the most self-destructive 2 years of my life, and one of the most horrible 2 years of my life, I honestly don't regret going through it. Because the things that I learned about relationships, about myself, about men, was something that I don't feel I could learn in my entire lifetime. And all those learnings were crammed in 2 years. So, of course, I'm going to share those learnings to you. I don't want you to go through the same kagagahan as I did. Let me be the only gaga in here. I learned that in life, in real life, if it is too good to be true, it is most likely too good to be true. Real life is not a movie. Most likely, someone is really putting on a show. And you have to work extra hard to uncover the truth. Huwag gullible! It also applies to those scam texts that you receive or yung mga scam emails that you receive. If it's too good to be true that you won an iPhone just by clicking on a website, then it's not real. Don't be so trusting. Di ba sabi sa X-Files, trust no one? Or ano ba yun? The truth is out there ba? Which one is X-Files? I don't know. All I watch is K-drama nowadays. You have to really check first if it's really grandma lying down in the bed sick, or if it's a wolf dressed as grandma ready to eat you alive. Morbid. Dark. That's life. There was once a sign of him being an actual wolf that I stupidly ignored. He was wearing a plain ring on his ring finger. And I said, "Is that a wedding ring?" And he said, "No, I'm a businessman. Businessmen wear jewelry. Wedding rings for us have diamonds." Okay. Ang boba, di ba? Bigyan ng award! Bigyan ng jacket! Since then, I now trust my instincts. You were born with them. They are part of your survival instincts. Don't shut down the inner voices in your head. You know what you should shut down? The words of other people. You know when they say that love is blind? I'll make a better quotable quote about that. I would say, love should be deaf. Cover your ears and be deaf and put on X-ray eyeglasses because their words will confuse the actions that your eyes can see and that your brains are absorbing. Watch the actions because when we like someone, we are already predisposed to believe everything that they say. Well, talo na tayo doon. When we like or love someone, we are neither impartial nor objective because our emotions amplify what we want to hear. And it drowns out the voices in our head, which is our survival instincts trying to be heard. It is our common sense trying to warn us. So, if a guy that you're seeing doesn't call you for days, sound the alarm. A guy who I was seeing once told me that he dropped his phone on the floor beyond repair. That's why he couldn't call me for 5 days. And I said, okay. Years later, I discovered that he was on a romantic trip in Cebu with a, surprise, surprise, a girlfriend I did not know about. They love to trick me, Bombshells. Remember, Bombshells, it's a jungle out there. Welcome to the jungle. Literally. We were meant to live in the wild. We were meant to be running away from a lion or wrestling with a bear or attacking our neighbors for their dinner. It's still the same concept of every man for himself. We just made it less bloody in the modern times. When in doubt, what do the actions say? Not what did he say? No! You are going to be the dinner of a lion. When he hasn't introduced you to his family personally after a year and a half, ring the alarm. When you know that he is married but he says he's not, run for it. In this particular scenario of married men, it doesn't matter what script he uses. It doesn't matter if he uses the "we're staying together for the kids" script, or he might use the divorce is already in the court" script, or the popular script, "my wife is a psycho" script. Hindi original ang mga scriptwriters na ito, Bombshells. Reused and recycled na ang mga linyang yan. It's ukay-ukay lines. Gamit na. Don't fall for it. Let them resolve or dissolve the marriage on their own before you enter the picture. Because people will say anything to get what they want. Talk is so cheap, you just open your mouth and the words will come out. But to prove it through action is much harder. That's why watch the actions. Don't be so easy. Don't get me wrong, this is not an anti-men video. Not all men are made the same. Not all men are sincere in the same way that not all men are pigs. This incident in my life made me realize I cannot be overconfident. I was really confident that I was too sharp to be scammed. I'm always one step ahead of you boys. Habulin niyo ako. Hindi niya maloloko ang mga manloloko. I thought mga gaga lang yung mga naloloko. Yung mga syusyunga-syunga. When it comes to love, everyone is vulnerable. No matter what your IQ level is. Because we all want to be loved. And loved by the person that we like or love. Ang dami ko kayang smart friends, not just me, who nanaloko or who stayed in toxic relationships. How do we guard our hearts? By taking our time getting to know a person without jumping into intimacy right away. I know it may sound like it's coming from a religious point of view, but I promise it's not. It's really practical advice. Don't jump in if you don't know if it's safe ground or quicksand. You can also guard your heart by trusting your instinct, your survival instincts that you were born with. If something feels off, you are most likely right. Where there is smoke, there is fire. You will never be 100% right, but you must always check 100% whether you are or not. You are not paranoid. You have your survival instincts, or some will say your angel's voice is talking to you. Don't ignore, don't think it's you and not them. Always be on your side. You are the only one who can protect yourself. So acknowledge the feeling of warning and then do something about it. And also, things reveal themselves in time. Lahat ng baho ay sumisingaw. Kaya nga you have to take your time to get to know the person. You cannot play the character or keep that fake personality for an extended period of time. The character will drop and the true colors will come out. So if you take your time getting to know the person, you will know what kind of creature you are dealing with. There you have it, my chismoots. The juiciest and most challenging and hard-hitting episode thus far. I consider myself very lucky that I had friends and family who went through it with me despite not being able to do anything to help save me. I had to save myself. And I'm just lucky that they did not give up on me out of frustration about the choices I was making at that time. I had to figure it out for myself. I had to find the right path once again. And I'm just lucky that they stayed with me the entire time, even if they were suffering. And because of that, to all of my friends and family who held me up during those really tough years of my life, thank you so much. I was a gazelle that escaped the predator. I was a slow gazelle, but I still escaped the predator. And I had friendly zebras that helped me escape the predator. And I am grateful for the lessons that I learned about this wild thing called life. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you on my next Charlosophy Tuesday. Bye! Are you ready for this, my inuts? My inuts tuloy. Nakigaya, plagiarism. So I treated him just like the usual guest, like a meal ticket. And I was like, roll eyes inside my head. Ironically, this was the only all I watch is K-drama nowadays. We don't have quotable quotes there except for Miyane. Bo? Hindi. Aray. Oh. How did I just pull my earring? I'm getting too caught up in the emotion of recounting the story.